Hello. Oh, good. It's working. All right. So I want to do a couple more things now. And one of the things I want to do is show you how to make an APA style table from an output, SPSS output. And to do that, you can't really do it in SPSS output, or maybe you can, but it's super complicated. But you can do it using Excel. So we're going to bounce from SPSS to Excel. So just to remind you of what was happening in the last video, because you may not have watched it, we had this data here that we had opened from a text file in SPSS, and we then went through a series of the graphical user interface, a series of analyzed descriptives in order to get syntax, SPSS syntax, which we then ran in order to get this output. Just the basic descriptives, the mean, standard deviation, and variance of those two variables in the made-up data, and then histograms of that data. And then we did the frequency procedure, and it got out mean, median, and mode. Median and mode cannot be gotten out of the descriptives procedure that gave us this table right here. And then you see these ugly frequency distributions that come out. They're ugly because these are continuous variables, and so I had mentioned that I would normally suppress frequency tables if all I wanted out of the frequency procedure was median and mode. I would just turn those off, but I left them on so that you can see the output. Now what I'm going to do is come back up here to this descriptive statistics table, and I'm just going to copy it, and then I'm going to open up Excel. Here's Excel. And I'm going to paste it. All right. And so now I'm going to turn this in Excel into a pretty APA style table. First step, I'm going to get rid of this last column here. So I'm going to, now I've selected our last column, last row. Confusing my rows and columns. Rows are the things that go sideways, columns are the things that go up and down. All right, I'm going to get rid of this last row. Now you're not going to be able to see this on the video, but I'm pressing Control and Delete. Control and the delete, or not, I'm sorry, not delete, Control and minus. Control and minus. Maybe it should have been Control and Delete. Nothing's working. There we go. Control and minus. Man, sometimes these programs. All right, I'm just going to do the same thing to get rid of this descriptive stats thing here because it's ugly. So again, Control and minus, and it goes away. And I don't really care about in. I don't care about that column, so I'm going to get rid of it. Okay. And now I'm also going to get rid of all of these ugly lines that came in from SPSS. So I'm just going to click and drag to select all of those cells in Excel. And I'm going to come over here to the border. I'm going to say no border. Okay, and that got rid of all of our borders. And now I'm going to replace these names with symbols. So I'm going to use M for the mean, S for the standard deviation, and S squared for the variance. Okay, now S squared, that's just S2. How do I make it squared? Well, I'm going to click and drag to select the 2. Come here to font and superscript. Okay, and now it's S squared for variance. Okay, I'm going to, now these look like they're already centered, but I'm going to center the numbers as well. Center the numbers right here in this alignment part here. Let me stretch this out a little bit, stretch out Excel so we can see more of the tools. There we go. Okay, another thing, let me get rid of the background there in those cells. I do not want that. Let's see, I think that's here. No fill. Yep, that got rid of it. Good. Okay, I want to make these align right. So I'm going to align those like that. Oh, and these didn't actually center, did they? There we go. That's what I meant to do. Now they're nice and centered. Fantastic. APA style tables are double spaced except for between the header row and the first row of data. So I am going to double space just by selecting this row here and then Control plus. We need Control minus to get rid of rows. Control plus adds a row. Now we've got a nice double spaced table. And APA style tables have a line between the header row and the first row of data. So what I'm going to do is select this top row here, come up here in the font area, and right here the borders. Remember we had used this to remove all borders before, but now I'm going to put a bottom border. And I'm going to do the same thing right here, bottom border. And now I have a nice APA style table. Now this is a very small one, very easy to make. I'll do another video maybe where I do a more complicated table, but in the meantime, here you do have a nice APA style table. Some other things that I might do to something like this to make it a little bit better for publication. One is increase the font size here. Might even make these headers bold. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. And then just to show you what this looks like, let me open Word here, so that you can see what this would look like in a paper if you were doing this for a publication. So now I've opened Word, and I just have to come over here and copy. Okay, there's a problem. I don't know what the problem is. I bet there's no problem. And now, oh, maybe there was a problem. Yep, there was a problem. Okay, what's the problem? Copy. And paste. Oh, what is all that coloration? Try it again. Nope, don't want that. There we go. Fantastic. Now that looks like a nice table. Of course, this were really an APA style table. I would come here and put note, and then write something about this table. Something descriptive. I would certainly explain things like what each of these symbols was. And I would make notes italicized. Yeah, look at that. All right. I'm going to call a quit to this video. It's gone on long enough now. There you see how to make an APA style table. Next video I do, I'm just going to do a basic correlational analysis since I have two variables here.